There is no better training ground than motherhood. This season, right now, the challenges you're facing, the struggles that you're dealing with, it's all going to help you. It's going to mold you, shape you, help you become the woman that you need to be. And you're struggling because maybe you, like myself, you don't like being at home all the time. I believe that God is using the reps that you're putting in, the repetition of just being faithful day in and day out. God told me in that moment, all of these things that you're trying to make happen are actually not going to happen until you're a mother. Do you find yourself feeling so lost, trapped and confused within the four walls of your home lately because you're in this new season of motherhood, whether it's your first time or, your third time, like myself, with an 8-month-old, where I spend most of my time feeling like the skills that I need for this season of motherhood I don't have, and the skills that I do have I'm not using, or the passions that I have I'm not using. Don't be discouraged, my friend, and do not give up. Do not stop being faithful in this season with those that God has entrusted to you, because I promise you that at the right time, you will not only reap the fruits and the benefits of your faithfulness, but I do believe that in due season, God will bless you, allowing you the time and the freedom to do the things that you're so passionate about. I was reminded just last night that God, in his faithfulness, he made me a promise before I had my first daughter. I was trying so hard. If you've been pregnant before or you are pregnant, you know that you feel like it's this desperate race to try to get your whole life right before you have a baby. I remembered there was things that I was aspiring to do on social media to encourage women, and I was working so hard to try to get those things done or completed or at least started and build a community around it before having my first child. And as we were driving to my parents' house, I remember hearing God so clearly tell me, all of these things that you're trying to make happen, they're not going to happen until you're a mother. And it was like, I was shocked. I literally stopped and told my husband what I felt like God had just spoke to me. Because yeah, it stopped me in my tracks. But at the same time, I can honestly say that I felt a little bit of a relief knowing that I can stop trying. I could stop frustrating myself with how hard I felt like I was having to work to try to get things done before having the baby. And so I thought, well, I guess I could stop trying for right now. Once I'm a mom, I'll pick these things up again. Well, guess what? I tried after I was a mom of one. I tried after I was a mom of two. And now, almost 9 months into having my third child, I'm realizing that this very YouTube channel that is now about something entirely different, this community that I aspire to encourage in your God-given roles within your home, this community is now the fulfillment of that promise. I believe that what God is giving me the green light to start now, this is that which he said is not going to happen until you're a mother. And God's timing, only he knows, right? I thought it would be after one child, then I thought it would be after 2 children. And I realize now it wasn't until now. But God's timing is perfect. And God knows that had I started a YouTube channel, 6 years ago, my daughter's now 6, it wouldn't be what it is going to be now. It wouldn't be for mothers like it is now. And I say all of this and I share that story to encourage you that, look, I don't know what it is in your life that you're frustrated that you don't get to do right now. But what I do know is that this season of motherhood, your journey as a mother, is your training ground, is the place where God is creating in you the heart that he so desires for you to have, where he is molding Christ-like character in you, where he is expanding your capacity, where he is building and increasing your ability to go through harder things and to navigate them with perseverance and with grace. And there is no better training ground, in my opinion, than motherhood, to build your endurance, to prepare you mentally, to toughen you up, to teach you of all that you're actually capable of, both physically, mentally, spiritually. I don't know what challenges you're currently facing. I don't know what things you're doing day in and day out that feel like it's so repetitive. Does this mean anything to anybody? God doesn't waste anything. And everything that God allows to happen in our lives, I believe, is intentional. And maybe it's not that he sends bad things to happen to us, but I do believe that he, like it says in his word, he is always in everything working for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purposes. And if you're watching this and you're still watching this, thank you. And I do believe that God has a very specific purpose for your life. And he knows that this season of your life is building you up and building in you the character, that which is required, the lessons that will be necessary for that work that he's called you to. And maybe you're not currently doing that, but I do believe with all my heart that this season, right now, the challenges you're facing, the struggles that you're dealing with, it's all going to help you. It's going to mold you, shape you, help you become the woman that you need to be to carry out that greater assignment. If I did nothing else, God has gotten me to the place now where I've told him, God, if I do nothing else in my life, but I'm a good wife and a good mother, help me to be faithful with these children that you've entrusted to me. Help me to be a good wife, one that my husband can trust, that he loves, that would support him, that would be there to encourage him. Help me to set a good example for my children as a wife to my husband and just a leader in my home. And help me to do these things well. And maybe you're not there. Maybe you don't feel like I do. Maybe you can't wait to get to the other things that God has for you. But I have learned that it is so important how we do this, how we do what we do within the walls of our own home with our husband, how we love our children. I do believe that there is an order of priority to God of the tasks or assignments that which he gives us to steward. And I do believe that if we won't learn to make our home, our husbands, our partners, our children a priority, then God won't bless us and allow us to go out into the world if we neglect this. So God is using everything. Be encouraged. There's nothing in your life right now that's happening that isn't in preparation for what is to come. I believe that with all my heart. So I just wanted to share this. I realize now that God is faithful. He kept his promise. It took a lot longer than I thought, but now I'm here and getting to encourage you, and it makes me so happy. There's few things in my life in this season that I just am so passionate about, like I am about coming alongside new moms. When I say new mom, I don't mean you're a first-time mom, but just you're in this newer season of motherhood where maybe you have a child under one or in the beginning phases of, whether it's newborn or infant, and you're struggling because maybe you, like myself, you don't like being at home all the time, or maybe you're an extrovert like me and you like being around other people. And so whatever it is that you're having to navigate, or whatever it is, this long season, what feels like a long period of time where you're at home with your children and it seems like you're doing the same things day in, day out, be encouraged that I believe that God is using the reps that you're putting in, the repetition of just being faithful day in and day out with your children or your family, that God will use all of that now, and he's using it at a later time to be a blessing to others. So continue to be faithful. Do not grow weary. In due season, my friend, I promise that you will bear much fruit, and God will bless you for your faithfulness. He sees you. He sees everything, the sacrifices you're making, the effort you're putting in, just how intentional you're being, just the fact that you're watching this right now. Hope that your encouragement today is just that God sees you. He sees your faithfulness, and he is our Father who rewards us for that which we do in private. The good things, your faithfulness, it will be rewarded by your Father in heaven. So I hope this was encouraging, and keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an excellent job.